Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. In the territory of automaton race. Originally, we planned for the three races to join hands and capture the troop of human universe masters in one swift move. Then we will use them to force the human race to, but now, it seems like with the power of the three races combined, even if eventually we may achieve our goal, we will suffer great losses while trying to achieve what we planned. Seems like we have to depend on those vassal races. Humph. Vassal races. Those vassal races will never put their lives on the line if there is nothing for them to gain. It is simply impossible. No choice. The vassal races certainly do not match us in strength. By giving them some incentives now, in the future, we will be able to keep them within our realm of control. If the inheritance is further scattered into smaller portions, other groups of powers like the Prison Clan, the Crystal Clan, and the Space Beasts will all surge forward for a part of it. Then our race will not have much to gain. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The Prison Clan, the Automaton race, and the Bug Clan were all vassal races, just like the humans, who also formed a vassal race. Thus, they established the Hong Alliance. In fact, before the war started, the four pinnacle races did not have any vassal groups. Because when deploying a vassal race to war, the universe masters within the vassal race would be the ones taking the field. And these universe masters were no fools. They would not allow themselves to become ashes and dust willingly. Without anything to gain, there was no way they would pledge themselves to death. The demons and the three races were all convinced that once they got hold of the inheritance, there would be no need to share any of it with the vassal races. Yet this war. The results of this war had instilled fear in them all, which caused them to start trying their best to rope in other groups of powers. Dream Demon Ancestor, Shock Demon Ancestor. News of the outcome of the war has spread. It is said that the humans were extremely powerful. We universe masters from the vassal races, perhaps only 1 to 2, or 2 to 3 of us from each race, regardless of who will face annihilation, it will be a disaster for our race. We have to exercise prudence. Therefore, we have 4 conditions. Speak, Shock Demon Ancestor said. 1. If we are to go to war with you, you must let us stay and fight together, you cannot split us apart. 2. If any of us are annihilated, the demons must treat the respective race with kindness. No shrinking of territory allowed. The territory of his race must not be compromised, and great beings from external races cannot interfere with the development of any of our races. 3. After the war, if the demons do manage to gain that inheritance of the pulse of Duandong River, we do not ask for much. We only need information on the experiences of great beings on how they cultivated to become universe supreme masters. 4. If the demons were able to create a Holy Land universe, you must leave 10% of the space for us vassal races. Obviously, the vassal races already had a round of discussions. It was apparent through the conditions they listed that they had conducted thorough discussions, and did not dare to ask for too much. Like the experiences within the inheritance, they merely required experiences on how great beings cultivated to become universe supreme masters, because to them, so long as they had a universe supreme master emerging from their very own race, their race would have a true foundation. Shock Demon Ancestor considered for a mere moment and promised right away, all right. You have my word. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The demons, the Bug Clan, and the Automaton race started a series of discussions with vassal races, using conditions to rope them in. They needed the universe masters of these vassal races to participate, and help them pull through this terrifying and impending war. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The human territory was a very normal planet, but life on that planet was immeasurably prosperous, and it was the home of hundreds of millions of humans. Technology was very advanced, and skyscrapers were so high they seemed to shoot up into the sky. On the sky deck of one of these skyscrapers, Hua. A blurry figure gradually condensed to take a solid form. There he stood, cloaked in an elegant, long, purple robe, with a head of long, silver hair. His appearance seemed gender-neuter, and his beauty was second to none. He had eyes that sparkled like stars, and every star's light was like the universe revolving. With a single wave, 3 figures suddenly appeared behind him, a rock life form that seemed as sturdy as a mountain, an adorable beast with yellow fur, and a being that was glimmered as though glistening water had converged to give form to it. Island leader, these 3 great beings shouted at the same time. Choose one spot, then stay there for the time being. This purple-robed figure looked afar as his gaze penetrated through the atmosphere, through layers of time and space, to rest on an immeasurably vast piece of land suspended amidst the starlit sky, the headquarters of the virtual universe. After seeing the demons lost this time around, the demons, the Bug Clan, and the automaton race will surely put in their utmost effort, without daring to slack off. However, deep within their hearts, I'm afraid all those good friends of mine are all unwilling to be kept out of the limelight. I suppose the majority of them have already made their way into the human territory. Huge Axe is dead. Now, the human race's greatest foundation is the original universe. The purple-robed figure laughed lightly and continued, getting from the primal universe to the original universe, one must depend on the universe passageway. This universe passageway was built when Teacher Origin was still around. Now that Teacher Origin has been eternally suppressed, no one is able to build another universe passageway, which is why this passageway that connects the primal universe and the original universe is extremely important. If this passageway is destroyed, for the human race to get from the original universe back to the primal universe, they would have to depend on the universe masters as their means of transportation. From what I know, there are 2 passageways between the original universe and the primal universe. One is within the headquarters of the virtual universe, and the other is in the primal secret region. According to the degree of defense, whispered the purple-robed figure, the first major war will be in the headquarters of the virtual universe. The second major war, which will be the final war, will be in that primal secret region. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Within the entire primal universe, the combined forces of the 9 top powers of the universe were not necessarily much stronger than the group of universe supreme masters who traveled alone. And before the imminent storm, this group of loners certainly had plans of their own. Apparently, the shocking results of the first war the humans fought had prompted them to put more thorough thoughts into their course of actions. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Within the primal secret region, in the human territory, Luo Feng, Darkness Master, and Peng Gong Master were enjoying their wine while seated in a circle. The demons, the Bug Clan, and the automaton race are not making any moves for now. Darkness Master suddenly put down his wine glass and said in a low voice, previously, when war was just declared, the 3 races participated. We have gone through a round with the demons. Who would have expected all 3 races to retreat? Besides, it has been half a month since their retreat, and there is still no movement from anyone. Peng Gong Master shook his head and laughed. After the outcome of our first war, the 3 other clans must have felt the pressure. Once news of this preparation spreads, all the other races will know. Even if that's the case, the Bug Clan, the Demon Clan, and the automaton race will surely have no need to vie for time. Luo Feng nodded. True. Previously, the war was a fast one. The 3 races wanted to crush us easily, expecting to achieve success in one swift move. Now, they do not dare hold such hopes, so naturally, they will be steadier in their advances. No one is willing to present the chance of winning to the other party. That's right, the other races. Darkness Master frowned. But it is not just the other races. There are also those universe supreme masters who traveled alone. Luo Feng put his wine glass down too. Teacher Origin told us that, based on what he has observed, within our human race's territory, there should now be a few universe supreme masters. It is just that they are not making any moves. So he has guessed that these must be universe supreme masters who traveled alone. Universe supreme masters who traveled alone. Peng Gong Master and Darkness Master were both frowning. What terrifying existences. Monitoring the virtual universe and being able to force other races to retreat. Only universe supreme masters were capable of these things. Since he was able to monitor certain information so easily in the past, Teacher Origin usually could not be bothered to monitor anything. But at that moment, the situation concerned the fate of his human race. Of course he would be keeping a close watch, just so he could keep abreast of the moves made by various groups and powers in the entire primal universe. Fortunately, the outcome of the previous war was encouraging for us, turning the tables for the situation of our race, Luo Feng said softly. Now that we are in a much better position, we have several other powers wanting to join our force. Yes. Peng Gong Master smiled too. Misty Peak Alliance and the Thorn Ring Alliance are the two stronger powers. There are a few other groups that are weaker, various scattered races. All of them dared step forward to seek refuge with us. At the very least, these races do have Universe Masters. Now, the total number of Universe Masters who have come to join our force has reached 92. The situation is looking up for us. Darkness Master nodded, too. Before the First War, even for the vassal races of the Hong Alliance, those Universe Masters were extremely sly and would never give up their lives easily for the humans. They were worried that the humans had no power of resistance, and so, even if they were to charge forward with all they had, they would still be sending themselves to their doom. This was why, before the First War, humans did not even consider enlisting the help of the Universe Masters of the vassal races. But now, the situation was different. The outcome of the First War had set their minds at ease. The vassal races of the Hong Alliance were willing to put in the effort to fight for the humans upon seeing that the humans did wield enough power to put up a fight. In addition to Hong Alliance, there was now a total of 92 Universe Masters joining the human camp. Although we are still weak compared to the incoming united forces, we do still have a shot with the power we have. Luo Feng said solemnly. Based on speculations, all five, including the demons, the automaton race, the bug clan, the prison clan, and the crystal clan, will be attacking us. For this current war, the most important task at hand will be to rope in the Northern Territory Alliance, the Ancestral God School, the Space Beast Alliance, and the Supreme Masters who travel alone. Out of these groups, if we could get any of them to take our side, our chances of victory will increase by leaps and bounds. The Northern Territory Alliance Master is a Supreme Master who travels alone, said Darkness Master. He thought to himself for a moment. Without his help, I think the Northern Territory Alliance will probably lack the clout to participate in the war. So the Northern Territory Alliance Master is the key. The Ancestral God School and the Space Beast Alliance. Their attitudes toward the situation are hard to fathom. These two powers are always considered to be more detached. Detached. When faced with the temptation of transcending a reincarnation era, how could they remain detached? Peng Gong Master said with scorn. The Ancestral God School may seem impressive now, because it has the support of the universe origin. But once this reincarnation era comes to an end, all of them must leave the primal universe. By then, without the support of the primal universe, the power of the Ancestral God School will be greatly reduced. Then won't the group of universe masters of the Ancestral God School, and those three ancestral gods, be required to consider the matter of transcending reincarnation? As for the Space Beast Alliance, that old beast god is always so vicious. You must be careful and not let your guard down. If there is anyone who is sincerely willing to help us, then there should be some attempt to contact us, but there is nothing at all. Luo Feng also had to frown. True. By relying on the first battle, they could encourage some of the less powerful groups of powers, and some scattered races, to take a gamble and side with the human camp. After all, when it came to the true supergroups, not one of them was willing to help the humans, not even one universe Supreme Master was willing to come to the humans' aid. The humans were still in a grave situation. Asterisk 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 asterisk. While Luo Feng, Darkness Master, and Peng Gong Master were in mid-discussion, Luo Feng suddenly flipped his hand and a transmission token appeared. Darkness Master and Peng Gong Master looked toward Luo Feng. Ah! Luo Feng revealed a trace of joy as he lifted his head to look at Darkness Master and Peng Gong Master. Darkness, Peng Gong, I have something to settle. If this is settled well, it will be of great help in this battle. If there are urgent matters, find me directly through the virtual universe. All right, go ahead, Darkness Master said. Great help. Hurry up and go. Peng Gong Master rushed him along. Luo Feng rose to his feet, without further ado. His heart was filled with joy. After Huge Axe was annihilated, he had contacted Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest right away. Now, Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest was finally coming to the human territory to meet him. Human territory, Earth. Luo Feng arrived at Earth through God Country transportation. Although Sitting Mountain Guest arrived at the human territory, he didn't go to the primal secret region. After all, it was heavily guarded, and there was a large group of universe masters. Even Sitting Mountain Guest couldn't get in without being noticed. Luo Feng arrived at his palace in Yangzhou City. His palace only had a few guards. As for the Luos, they were in the primal universe already. Teacher. Luo Feng turned his head around and looked to the northeast. He could feel the force emanating from that direction. Although there were guards, they couldn't see Luo Feng walking past them. Nor did they notice his presence. After a short while, he entered a giant garden where the Luos appreciated beautiful scenery. There were all kinds of plants of different colors and shapes. They were all breathtaking. There was also a variety of animals, and Sitting Mountain Guest stood, playing with a blue-feathered bird. Teacher, shouted Luo Feng. This garden looks nice, Sitting Mountain Guest said, playing with the bird. You clearly invited a master to design this. It's indeed different to have power. You don't even need to give an order, and countless talented creatures will serve you. However, I'm a loner without any power. It seems I need to find a group in order to be an alliance master. Luo Feng smiled. If you join the Hong Alliance. Then what? I'll be the leader of the Hong Alliance. Sitting Mountain Guest looked to Luo Feng. Do the humans want me to be their leader? Luo Feng smiled awkwardly. It was impossible. The human race was a pinnacle race, and no pinnacle races would recognize a supreme master from another race as their leader. The pride ingrained in humans forbade them from doing that. They could regard Sitting Mountain Guest as the most senior being, but they wouldn't give Sitting Mountain Guest very much power. Even if you did give that position to me, I wouldn't do that. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. The human race is in danger now, and countless powers want to fight you. I'm not stupid enough to enter Hong Alliance now. Teacher, said Luo Feng. You're right. The human race is indeed in danger, and it needs lots of help. Can Teacher join our team? Sitting Mountain Guest sat down in a green chair and said, Luo Feng, I've told you before that you're on your own on the path to becoming a great being, so I can't help you much. The time you were trapped in the ninth abyss was an exception, as I didn't know how long you would be trapped there. As for the human race, it has nothing to do with me. I couldn't care less about the humans. With your power, you're 100% safe in the original universe now, not to mention, you have Star Tower and Boat of Mausoleum. I don't see any reason I should meddle. Luo Feng was dazed. It was a firm no. Luo Feng had thought there was at least some hope. Teacher, he said. Stop asking, said Sitting Mountain Guest. I won't join the humans. Say no more. I came here, he looked at Luo Feng. Because last time you sent a message to me, you mentioned that you acquired a drop of blood from a great being of an ancient civilization. The godly blood has enormous mental force, and you want me to make a true treasure using that. Luo Feng nodded. Yes, that drop of godly blood can spread its mental force in all directions. However, I want to concentrate it in a single direction, which will make its shock much more powerful. Can you achieve that, teacher? I've promised you that every time you kill a universe master, I'll make a true treasure for you. Sitting Mountain Guest smiled. I heard that you killed Demon Universe Master, so I'm here. Luo Feng had mixed feelings. Wow. He thought. His teacher was so fixated on the promise. It seemed that his teacher had been back in the original universe for a long time, but he only came after he knew his disciple had killed a universe master. Give me the godly blood first, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Okay, but we should enter space interlayers first, said Luo Feng. This mind shock is too powerful, and I don't want to harm the Earthlings. That drop of godly blood might annihilate all the humans on Earth. After all, the mental force could put universe masters in agony, let alone ordinary humans. Okay. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his body, and a space crack showed up. Both Sitting Mountain Guest and Luo Feng entered the crack. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Inside the space interlayers were countless space fragments. There, Luo Feng and Sitting Mountain Guest appeared. Please take a look, teacher, said Luo Feng. He turned his hands, and boat of mausoleum showed up. It grew bigger and turned into a boat 10 meters long. The drop of blood emerged from boat of mausoleum and showed up on the top of the boat. It was surrounded by a black halo. Hong! 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 The mind shock spread, striking Luo Feng and Sitting Mountain Guest. However, even Luo Feng could withstand it, let alone Sitting Mountain Guest. Godly blood. Sitting Mountain Guest nodded. I rarely see this kind of strange object. How did you get it? By luck, said Luo Feng. You need power, too, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Otherwise, if you don't have strong enough willpower, you couldn't even be near it. Besides, ordinary valuables couldn't hold that drop of godly power, and ordinary godly power can't be near it. He smiled. Lots of great beings wouldn't be able to even extract that godly blood. Luo Feng was amazed that Sitting Mountain Guest could already tell so much before even studying it. Do you have a plan, teacher? Asked Luo Feng. You want to make a true treasure out of this drop of godly blood and concentrate the mind shock, don't you? Sitting Mountain Guest nodded. If I consume enough material and spend enough time, I can make a supreme true treasure out of it. However, it'll take a long time, and chances are I'll fail. A supreme true treasure, said Luo Feng. I only need a true treasure for its mind shock ability. Okay, said Sitting Mountain Guest. For you humans, I suppose a strange valuable that can attack all great beings with minds inferior to universe supreme masters is more useful than a supreme true treasure. The core of this true treasure is godly blood. All I need to do is concentrate that mind, so it's much easier than making pinnacle true treasures. It's not difficult to make them. It'll only take 3 days to make it. As for the material, it's not precious. I have a lot, so I'll use what I have. Luo Feng was exhilarated and said, Teacher, I have 2 drops of godly blood. Can you make 2? 2 drops. Sitting Mountain Guest was amazed. Luo Feng smirked. Ever since acquiring the White Wing, he had used his contribution points to exchange for lots of precious materials for the White Wing to swallow. Some of the damage to it had been healed, and a puddle of blood had been repelled, forming a drop of godly blood. He had 2 drops of godly blood in total now. While he had been fighting the demon race, there had been 1 drop in Boat of Mausoleum and another drop in Star Tower. Don't count on it. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. I told you that for every universe master you kill, I can make you a true treasure. This is your first time, and the materials are not expensive, so I'll use my own. However, you'll need to kill another universe master if you want me to make the second one. Teacher, said Luo Feng. I killed a universe master during the fight, and I used Boat of Mausoleum to capture 3. Those 3 are dead now, so I can say I killed them. Dead? Were they killed in the primal universe? Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. That doesn't count. You used the primal universe origin to kill them, not your own power. Luo Feng was rendered speechless. Okay, decided Sitting Mountain Guest. I'll only make 1 true treasure for you. Say no more. Otherwise, I won't even make this one. Luo Feng could only lower his head and agree. Sitting Mountain Guest took out his green mountain, and the drop of godly blood fell on it, which easily contained it. I'll give you the true treasure 3 days from now, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Teacher, said Luo Feng. I obtained the inheritance of Duan Dong River. Huh? The inheritance of Duan Dong River. Sitting Mountain Guest turned around and glanced at Luo Feng. Do you think you can read about how you transcend incarnations under the original mind? Luo Feng was dazed. I can't. Then it's useless. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. I'm the best at making true treasures in Universe Ocean. Unless it's information about incarnation transcendence, it's useless to me. I'm just one step away. Luo Feng blinked. Damn it, he thought. He had planned to tell Sitting Mountain Guest something about the information about Universe Supreme Masters in Duandong River Inheritance, but Sitting Mountain Guest didn't give a damn about it. You'll understand after you reach my level. The information is useless, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Like your teacher, Primal Chaos City Leader. He might also be stuck at the last step, and he can only become a Universe Supreme Master after making that breakthrough. The training experience you have on hand is also useless to him. Training experience is useful to those who haven't reached the limit, but it's useless to those who have. However, although it's useless to me, none of the other beings in the original universe have reached the limit of a Universe Supreme Master yet, even the late Huge Axe Creator. Only Teacher Origin reached the limit. If he hadn't been suppressed, he might have transcended incarnations already. Sitting Mountain Guest stared at Luo Feng. All those lone Universe Supreme Masters want to transcend incarnations, so you must be wary of them. Even the old Beast God and the 3 ancestral gods. Okay. As for me, I'm just an audience. Sitting Mountain Guest laughed and disappeared in the space storms. Luo Feng stood in the distance. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Luo Feng stayed on Earth and waited, and after 3 days, Sitting Mountain Guest came back with the true treasure he had made. Luo Feng sat in the garden, holding a colorful crystal ball. There were halos on the ball, and these halos converged at a single point that looked like an eyeball. The crystal ball was the true treasure left by Sitting Mountain Guest. Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest indeed doesn't want to meddle. He left right after giving me this true treasure. Luo Feng shook his head. Sitting Mountain Guest gave Luo Feng the crystal ball and said, seal your life imprint on it, and then it'll recognize you as its master. Don't think about getting me into the human race. Remember, you need to kill another universe master if you want me to make you a true treasure. Of course, this is only the promise when you're still a universe knight. When you become a universe master, the requirement will be higher. He then teleported and left. This crystal ball, Luo Feng looked at the crystal ball in his hand, and his trace of godly power touched it. His life imprint was sealed on the crystal ball. No wonder it was made by teacher. There's no information at all. Luo Feng smiled. The valuables born in the original star often contain detailed information. As for valuables made by his teacher, it depends on Sitting Mountain Guest's mood. If he thinks it's necessary, there will be some information in it. Otherwise, there would be no information. However, it's easy to use. Luo Feng immediately knew how to use the crystal ball. There was only one level of engravings to control the crystal ball, and the godly blood's mental force would shout right out of the eye of the crystal ball. Even a universe knight would be able to drive it. It's a very simple true treasure. Luo Feng exclaimed. If it weren't for the godly blood, it would only be an ordinary true treasure. It looks like an eyeball, and the core is a drop of blood from a great being from an ancient civilization, so I'll call it Ancient God Eye. True treasure, Ancient God Eye. A true treasure whose level was difficult to measure, but had destructive power against universe masters was more important than supreme true treasures in a race war. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Su. Luo Feng obtained Ancient God Eye and went back to the primal secret region. Horde Leader. Horde Leader. Luo Feng walked among the palaces, and all the universe knights, undying fighters, and sector lords saluted him. A war. Luo Feng could feel the universe masters around him. Lots of universe masters gathered in the palace where Primal Chaos City Leader lived. They were all preparing for the coming war. Luo Feng. A being walked out of the main palace. It was Primal Chaos City Leader's original body. Teacher. Luo Feng greeted him. Have you come here for me? Primal Chaos City Leader looked at Luo Feng. The human race was facing a danger it had never faced before, and the main palace of Primal Chaos City Leader was the core. He was controlling the entire situation, and receiving the powers who came to help humans. Normally, nobody would visit Primal Chaos City Leader if there weren't serious business. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. The godly blood has been transformed into a true treasure. That drop of godly blood. Transformed into a true treasure. Primal Chaos City Leader was shocked and exhilarated. He, along with Luo Feng, Darkness Mesa, and Pengong Master had known about the godly blood for a long time. As for the other Universe Masters, they had no idea. Was it Craftsman Master or Sitting Mountain Guest? Primal Chaos City Leader couldn't help asking. Sitting Mountain Guest. Luo Feng said. He didn't try to hide it. Some secrets needed to be covered when he was weak. However, he was much more powerful now, and he had nothing to worry about. No one would dare try to encircle him and seize his valuables. Your home planet, Earth, was created by that great being. I should have figured that you had some connections with him, said Primal Chaos City Leader. Did you ask him to help us? I did, but he said no. Luo Feng shook his head. No surprise. Primal Chaos City Leader shook his head. We don't have any Universe Supreme Masters on our side, so we're at an absolute disadvantage. Sitting Mountain Guest is very shrewd, so he won't join. How about the true treasure? Luo Feng smirked. Those whose minds are under Universe Supreme Masters can't resist it. Before, the power of godly blood was spread, so limit-level minds of Universe Masters were able to withstand it. Now, only the minds of Universe Supreme Masters could resist it. Wonderful. Primal Chaos City Leader was overjoyed. With this true treasure, 90% of the Universe Masters will be rendered useless, and we might be able to capture some Universe Masters. This true treasure is more useful than Supreme True Treasures. It is, Luo Feng said with a nod. This valuable can change the world, which is why I came here to tell you about it. I'll think about how to prepare for the war. Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. You should go train yourself as well. When you become a Universe Master, the pressure on us will be greatly reduced. I understand. Luo Feng went away. Asterisk 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 asterisk. As a matter of fact, the avatar of his godly power had been staying in the space of inheritance the whole time, and he'd been comprehending the laws in a place where time passed 10,000 times faster than on the outside. He had reached the limit of gold and space law, and all he needed was the final inspiration to become a Universe Master. Once he became a Universe Master, his Mosha body and remote ocean body would have powers at top tier level 6 as well. And then Luo Feng would have 4 bodies at top tier level 6. However, Universe Supreme Masters didn't have multiple bodies. They could only have the power at top tier level 6 in the original universe, which was why Primal Chaos City Leader expected Luo Feng to become a Universe Master. One day in the space of inheritance is 30 years outside, said Luo Feng. It might take me dozens of eras to get the breakthrough, or just dozens of years, if I get lucky. Luo Feng was anxious too, but he knew anxiety wouldn't help him. Only inspiration could do the trick. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The demon race territory was dark and silent. Hong. Long. A giant purple god country appeared, and a trace of green light shone, followed by a giant ship. A black oval appeared in the white light. Dream Tea, Shock Horn. Empress. Automaton. 4 minds communicated with each other. And then traces of light flew out from the purple oval, the ancient ship, and the black oval. Beings with powerful forces stood in the sky. Hua. The largest ones were the 4 Supreme Masters, a giant silver snake, a strange beast with a serrated, sawtooth shell, the beautiful bug race Empress, and all the bug clan queens surrounding her. In the distance, the giant oval showed 9 eyes. He was Father God of the automaton race. There were automaton universe masters around him. According to our plan, said Shock Demon Ancestor, Empress, you have a supreme true treasure palace, and 80 universe masters will stay in the palace. You'll attack at the same time to form the greatest power. As for the demon race and the automaton race, we'll protect 16 universe masters respectively. Okay. We'll distribute the task now. The war would be the largest war, involving the most powers in the history of the original universe. Some powers had joined the human race, yet more powers deemed that the humans would lose. Some powers stayed neutral. As for the prison race, the crystal race, the Space Beast Alliance, the Ancestral God School, and the Northern Territory Alliance, they didn't go to them because they hadn't voiced their stances yet. There were more than 80 universe masters from the three races, and almost 80 universe masters went to offer their help. Some universe masters couldn't be lost, and some universe masters from other powers were held hostage, so they stayed in the miniature universe. There were 4 universe supreme masters, and 112 universe masters in total. This time, we'll act together, said the Black Oval. Besides, more races will join us. Only Darkness Master, Milky Way Horde Leader, and Pengong Master have the top-tier power. I alone can deal with Darkness Master and Pengong Master. As for Luo Feng, he's indeed incredible, but Empress is strong enough to deal with him. The Bug Race Empress nodded in the distance. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor will lead the 112 Universe Masters to fight the human race, said Father God. We have the absolute advantage, and we must, and will, succeed. Kill, roared the great beings from the three races. Kill, the subsidiary races also roared. Kill, roared all the creatures in the sky, including flesh and blood type, rock type, and metal type. This was a war that would determine their fates. To the human territory. Father God roared. This video will end here.